Teen Titans introduced hundreds of characters, but some did not lose, retire, or die. They simply vanished. No explanation, no goodbye. And most fans never noticed. Some were replaced instantly, others broke the show's rules and could not return. And a few disappeared after events that should have changed everything. Because Teen Titans followed a hidden rule that mattered more than continuity. Today, we're breaking down who vanished and why. The Atom is introduced as a shrinking hero whose entire identity revolves around his ability to become microscopic. On paper, that power should make him incredibly valuable. Infiltration, sabotage, and precision missions are exactly the kind of situations where a hero like the Atom should thrive, giving him a clear purpose on the team. Instead, the show immediately undercuts him for laughs. Robin repeatedly forgets that the Atom is even present. He is stepped on multiple times, treated less like a teammate and more like an inconvenience. Much of his screen time is spent literally stuck under Robin's shoe, emphasizing just how little importance the team assigns to him. The humor is obvious, but it serves a deeper narrative function. The show is subtly signaling that this character does not truly belong. Then, Bumblebee enters the picture. She can shrink just like the Atom, but she also brings more to the table. She can fly, move faster, and is far more dynamic visually. Compared side by side, Bumblebee feels like a clear upgrade, and rather than developing both characters, Teen Titans makes a decisive choice. The Atom is not defeated, written off, or given closure. He is simply replaced. After that episode, he never appears again. There is no explanation, no acknowledgement, and no attempt at redemption. Bumblebee becomes the team's shrinking hero, and the audience subconsciously accepts the swap without questioning it. This moment establishes a pattern the show repeats often. When two characters overlap too closely in role or function, they do not coexist. One quietly disappears, and the show never explains why that character was the one who had to go. Uncle Death. Raven's uncle is not a metaphor or a symbolic figure. He is literally death itself, the Grim Reaper, a being with direct control over souls, mortality, and the afterlife. Introducing a character like that is not a small narrative choice, especially in a superhero cartoon built around episodic adventures. In his episode, the stakes escalate dramatically. The Titans grow old, their bodies fail, and they eventually die. Raven is forced to bargain for their souls, negotiating directly with death to bring them back. He curses her, reality bends, and the story moves far beyond street-level threats or simple villain of the week conflict. For a brief moment, Teen Titans allows death and finality to exist in a very real way. And then the episode ends. Uncle Death never returns. There is no follow-up, no rematch, and no explanation. The reason is simple. A character like Uncle Death fundamentally breaks the show. If Death can be contacted, reasoned with, or tricked, then Death stops being permanent. Once mortality loses its weight, every future threat becomes less meaningful. So Uncle Death is not defeated or destroyed. He simply exits the story forever. Teen Titans does not remove him violently. It removes him quietly. This establishes the second rule of the series. If a character introduces consequences the show cannot carry forward, they disappear. Beetlejuice. A character who vanished not because he was too powerful, but because he was too chaotic to manage. Unlike Uncle Death, Beetlejuice does not control cosmic forces or rewrite reality through sheer authority. His danger comes from unpredictability. He lies constantly, betrays the Titans without hesitation, and hijacks Halloween itself, turning an entire holiday into his personal playground. At one point, he even traps the Titans in the Netherworld, showing just how easily he can disrupt reality for his own amusement. Beetlejuice is not a villain the Titans can negotiate with or outsmart in any lasting way. He does not follow plans, rules, or motivations that can be reasoned with. He exists purely to cause disruption, and that makes him especially dangerous in a show built on structure and rhythm. By the end of his episode, Beetlejuice is defeated and effectively trapped, and that is where his story ends. There is no return appearance, no revenge plot, and no lingering consequences. The show moves on as if he never existed. The reason is simple. Beetlejuice does not fit the Teen Titans format. If he were allowed to return, every episode would risk spiraling into uncontrollable chaos. So the show locks him away and moves forward. This reveals another clear pattern. If a character destabilizes the tone of the series, they are removed permanently. Scarman. This is not a new villain or a separate hero, but a transformed version of Beast Boy that emerges after a series of brutal injuries. For once, Teen Titans allows consequences to fully land instead of immediately resetting the status quo. Beast Boy is scarred both physically and emotionally. He loses limbs, gains visible injuries, and becomes noticeably more aggressive in battle. Rather than hiding the damage, he embraces it, wearing his scars as proof of strength and resilience. This version of Beast Boy feels heavier, more confident, and more dangerous, as if the show is finally allowing pain to shape his identity. It is one of the rare moments where character growth is allowed to hurt, and where actions seem to carry real weight. But that weight does not last. Before the transformation can permanently redefine Beast Boy, the show pulls back. Scarman vanishes, Beast Boy returns to his usual self, and the scars are reduced to minor visual details. The emotional consequences of his injuries fade, and the arc is quietly closed without lasting impact. This reversal does not happen because the story failed. It happens because Teen Titans refuses to let trauma permanently reshape its core cast. Temporary change is acceptable, even encouraged, but permanent transformation is not. As a result, Scarman disappears, taking lasting consequences with him. The Queen of the Morvian Empire. She does not arrive as a minor threat or a one-off nuisance. She comes from space, rules an entire empire, and possesses technology far beyond anything the Titans have encountered before. Her interest in Robin is not a simple gag either. She wants him as her king, believing his beauty makes him worthy of ruling her civilization. This is not a joke villain. This is a galactic-level threat with implications that should stretch far beyond a single episode. An interstellar empire discovering Earth, attempting to claim one of its heroes, and revealing advanced technology should fundamentally alter the world of Teen Titan. Instead, the conflict ends in the simplest way possible. She explodes, literally. There is no aftermath, no retaliation from her empire, no political fallout, no lingering fear of invasion. The show offers no explanation and moves on as if nothing of consequence just happened. The threat is not truly defeated through strategy or growth, it is erased. This is a pattern Teen Titans relies on when a story escalates too quickly. Rather than unpack the implications or carry the consequences forward, the show deletes the source of the problem entirely. It is a clean reset, and it happens far more often than most fans realize. The Legend of Doom. In this episode, the Titans do not simply flirt with being bad or momentarily lose their way. They fully cross the line. They become villains in every sense of the word, abandoning their heroic identities without hesitation or remorse. They torture other heroes. They destroy Jump City. They conquer the world. They wipe out humanity itself. This is not a dream sequence, a hypothetical future, or an imagined scenario. These events actually happen within the story. The Titans choose evil not because they are forced to, but because they enjoy it. They revel in the power, the freedom, and the lack of consequences. The scale of what they do should permanently scar them and fundamentally reshape the world they inhabit. And then the episode ends. The next episode begins as if none of it ever occurred. The city is intact. The Titans are heroes again. There is no guilt, no trauma, no fear, and no attempt to process what they did. The Legion of Doom never appears again, and the Titans behave as though the destruction of the world was nothing more than a fleeting distraction. This is the moment where Teen Titans reveals its most important narrative rule. Continuity is optional. If an episode threatens the long-term identity of the show or forces permanent change, it does not get explored or resolved. It gets isolated, sealed off, and quietly forgotten. Fans did not miss this disappearance by accident. The show conditioned them to accept it, teaching viewers that even the most world-shattering events could be erased without consequence. Aqualad the Pirate. One of the few side characters in Teen Titans who appears multiple times throughout the series, making his disappearance in one specific form even more noticeable. In a single episode, he undergoes a dramatic and unexpected transformation. He re-emerges as a pirate, complete with an eye patch, a hook hand, and a peg leg. This is not a simple visual gag or background joke. It presents an entirely new identity for the character, one that suggests trauma, change, and lasting consequences. And then that version of Aqualad is gone. Aqualad returns in later episodes, but the pirate version of him never does. There is no explanation for how he recovered, why he changed back, or whether the experience affected him in any meaningful way. The transformation is treated as if it never happened. The reason is not that the idea failed. It is that Teen Titans avoids character evolution that demands follow-up. The pirate version of Aqualad raises uncomfortable questions. What caused the transformation? Why did it end? Did it leave emotional or physical scars? Answering those questions would require continuity and reflection, two things the show often sidesteps. Instead, Teen Titans chooses silence. By refusing to acknowledge the transformation, the show allows Aqualad to continue appearing without complication. As a result, that version of him vanishes completely, reinforcing the pattern that lasting evolution is quietly erased rather than explored. Beastman, the adult version of Beast Boy. This form is more than just a visual change. Beastman can function in the adult world in ways the Titans normally cannot. He gets a job, rents cars, and navigates responsibilities that go far beyond superhero missions. For a brief moment, the show suggests a future where the Titans might actually grow up, and that is exactly why Beastman cannot stay. Beastman introduces a deeply unsettling idea for the series: adulthood. If Beast Boy can mature and thrive as an adult, then the core premise of Teen Titans begins to crack. The show is built around youth, chaos, and arrested development, not long-term growth or responsibility. So Beastman disappears. The villain tied to adulthood disappears as well. The entire concept is wiped away without explanation or consequence. It is not resolved through character choice or lesson learned. It is simply erased. In doing so, Teen Titans makes its position clear. Growing up is allowed as a joke or a temporary experiment, but never as a permanent direction for the story. Teen Titans is not a continuity-driven show, but an emotion-driven one, built to deliver comedy, chaos, or drama in the moment. When a character threatens that balance long-term, they are quietly removed. Not because fans would not understand, but because the show avoids explanation. That is why so many disappearances went unnoticed. Episodes aired out of order, there were no recaps, and viewers were never meant to track continuity. These characters did not vanish by accident. They broke the show's unwritten rules by overlapping roles, escalating stakes too far, demanding continuity, or forcing permanent growth. Teen Titans chose freedom over consistency. So when you rewatch the series, pay attention not to who appears, but to who quietly disappears. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe for more deep dives, and let me know in the comments which disappearance bothered you the most.